Aces by 19 points. Tonight, the rematch. Denver Holmes had a career night against the Redbirds a week ago.
That he most certainly did, Kurt. I think he jump-started his season last weekend against the Redbirds. 23 points he had against them, and now, after that, he has gone 7 consecutive games over that stretch, which he has been in double figures. He is off to a good start with that role that he's on right now. It will be a challenge for the Redbirds to find out a way to hold him down tonight.
Meanwhile, it was a career night for one of the young Redbird stars, Jackie Carmichael, with 20 points last week at Evansville.
Well, Kurt, what else can we say about this young man? It seems like we've used all the adjectives possible to use for a freshman ball player. But yet this week, he adds something else. He's now the newcomer of the week in the Missouri Valley Conference. Jackie Carmichael at 6'9", 240, runs the 4, plays inside, is a great shot blocker, defensive player for his age. I'm anxious to see what he can do again tonight. He's off to a great start in the Valley play.
Redbirds looking to bounce back from their loss on Saturday to the conference leaders, the Panthers of Northern Iowa. Tonight they get Marty Simmons and the Purple Aces. Stay tuned. The starting lineups and the opening tip are up next here on Comcast. Tonight's game, 9th consecutive game in which these 5 have started for the Redbirds, so Tim Jankovic has got this starting 5 locked in. Osiris Eldridge, Alex Rubin, Lloyd Phillips, Jackie Carmichael, who had the 20-point effort at Evansville a week ago tonight, and Dima Odiakosa, who was a non-factor in that game. He picked up 2 early fouls, had to sit most of the first half, and picked up 2 quick fouls in the second half as well, and played very, very few minutes in that game. Evansville has had some changes in its starting lineup due to some injuries and illness. It's been just one thing after another for Marty Simmons' team. Colt Ryan, the fabulous freshman, is in the starting 5. Denver Holmes is a terrific sophomore. We talked to you about him at the start of the broadcast. Clint Hope and Ned Cox, you see in the graphic, are not starting tonight. Troy Taylor is. He missed last week's game against the Redbirds because of a death in the family. Starting in place of Hope is Peter Van Tongeren, number 41. He's the player from the Netherlands who had started early in the season but lost his starting position to Hope. He's back in the starting lineup tonight. And Kevon Lacey, the most experienced guard, is starting tonight, actually kind of in place of James Arzma, who's the leading rebounder in the Missouri Valley Conference, not playing tonight for the Purple Aces due to an infection in his elbow. So we'll see how the Aces handle not having their top rebounder in their lineup tonight. Bob, let's talk about the keys to tonight's game. What do you think are the keys for the Redbirds?
Well, Redbirds need to step up defense tonight. It's proof in the pudding is that when the Aces shoot better than you, they win their games. They're 6-1 when they have had a better shooting percentage than their opponent. When the opponent shoots better than them, they're 0-8. Last week when the Birds played, the Birds held them to 31%. A 19-point victory came because of it. The next one was move the ball on offense. Last week, the Redbirds, again against the Aces, had 21 assists, the second high of the season for them, and because of that good ball movement, great shots at a higher percentage. The Birds shot the ball at 50%. The third key, don't fall for the trap. The trap is, this is a trap game. They just played these guys a week ago, and basically, they handed them their lunch. They beat them well at Evansville. Then the Birds came back last Saturday, had an emotional loss, and didn't play very well against Northern Iowa. Now to get back up and play Evansville again with all of that happening, this is a trap game that you could fall into and not show up mentally. If that happens, you'll be in a dogfight. It's the Missouri Valley. We've seen it throughout the years, Kurt, and this year's no different. You better come to play every night.
2 weeks into the Missouri Valley Conference schedule, you see the standings. Northern Iowa is a perfect 6-0. The Panthers won last night at home over Bradley to improve to 6-0. Wichita State is the next closest to the Panthers at 4-1. Then you see a whole lot of teams right there. ISU, Indiana State at 3-2. Missouri State's at 3-3. You've got SIU, Creighton 2-3. So obviously very early in the season right now. Northern Iowa is a step ahead of everybody, and then there's a whole lot of parity in the rest of the league.
And with that being said, Northern Iowa last night practically stubbed their toe against Bradley with a 52-50 win there. Yes, they got to win, and I guess that's what that earmarks a good team, when you can win when you're not playing your best.
ISU in home white uniforms with their red trim and red numbers. The Purple Aces in their road purple jerseys, and they've got orange trim And they've got the opening tip as Peter Van Tongeren tips it back to Taylor. We're underway here at Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, our Comcast Sports crew. And we welcome those of you watching us up in the Chicago area and in Rockford. All throughout the state of Illinois and Springfield we're being seen tonight as well. Here's Van Tongeren's first shot is no good. The Redbirds come away with it, so ISU with a stop on their first defensive set.
Well, Evansville was going to try to go in and challenge the post players of the Redbirds early. They defended it well, got some help on a drop-down defense by Osiris Eldridge.
Eldridge is double-teamed, snaps a pass down to Carmichael, and he starts tonight's game much like he did in Evansville with a quick basket.
And I tell you what, if the script is the same, it won't insult any of the Redbirds because Jackie Carmichael's start to the game at Evansville was about as awesome as I've seen in years.
Colt Ryan's first three, that's the two, evidently. His foot was on the line, so a two-point shot for Ryan. He's the freshman from Batesville, Indiana, a superb player as a freshman. He's going to break the Evansville freshman scoring record. He's at least on pace to do that. Holmes got the rebound, but he lost it to Lloyd Phillips, who lobs back down to Carmichael. He tries to pass it inside. It's tipped away by Holmes.
A couple of quick turnovers right there by the Birds, and they don't like doing that because you come out empty-handed. After you get rewarded and get a turnover from Evansville, they then turn the ball right back over.
Here's Holmes' first shot. It was contested nicely by Osiris Eldridge.
Wow. That was an excellent defensive sequence. That shot had no chance.
Osiris sporting some black stockings, it looks like. Fadeaway jumpers in.
Kurt, I don't care what he wears as long as he shoots like that.
Well, he's got his socks, and then he's got some black wrappings that go from his ankles up to his knees, it looks like.
Well, he started sporting those a couple of games ago, and I'm not certain that they really serve a purpose, but like I said, if he can shoot like that, I don't care what he wears.
Taylor being guarded by Phillips. Taylor's a freshman from Anderson, Indiana. Young Evansville lineup, just one senior on the roster, and he's a walk-on.
This Evansville group that Coach Simmons has dealt with this year, like you said, is very young, and they've been snake bit. The injury bug has plagued them all year, and I mean, it's been one kid after another. You just got to give them credit that they're trying to play through it and be tough and hang in there, but it's difficult now that conference play has started.
There's a good look at the fashion statement that Osiris Eldridge is making tonight. Good defense again by the Redbirds, as Evansville got the shot clock all the way down to 2 and then threw up an air ball. So the Redbirds D has been good in this opening 3 minutes.
Well, and we talked about that earlier as one of the keys in this game.
Alex Rubin knocks down a 3, and the Birds have a 7-2 advantage.
Good ball movement, good reversal, making the defense have to switch sides of the court, and then caught a wide open Alex Rubin for a 3 ball. The one thing that the depleted team from the Evansville has got to work through is how to milk minutes out of their good players.
Colt Ryan left open for 3.
And he's as good a freshman as there is in the league this year.
6'5", 200, and he shoots the 3 at 41%. That's his 32nd three-point make on the season.
He can stroke it. He is very proficient at shooting.
Nice pump fake by Phillips. Step inside the arc, missed the shot, tipped around. Nice save that time by Carmichael. Now it's Eldridge. He'll try a 3. He'll miss it. Taylor goes and gets. The Aces are not a team that you're going to try to run up and down and really try to make this game a full court game.
No, I mean, for a variety of reasons. It's not their style, one thing, and then, like we said, they don't have the numbers.
Another turnover. Redbirds come back in the front court now. Here's Eldridge working on Holmes. Pump fake, contact, no call.
Oh, my. Denver Holmes. You do that out on the street, you might get arrested. That kind of contact.
Paul Jansen, Terry Weimer, Randy Heimerman working the Missouri Valley game. There again is Ryan. So he started very slowly against the Redbirds last Wednesday night, but off to a good start here. And now that 3 has given Evansville its first lead.
Colt Ryan, if he has a chance to come off a screen, get his feet set, he can shoot the ball as well as anybody in the league. You don't realize by his ability to shoot that he's only a freshman.
He has all 8 of the Aces' points. Eldridge missed the 3. Hope gets the rebound. He didn't start the game. Van Tongeren did, but he came in real quick.
Pope gives him some strong presences on the inside. He's just not necessarily as athletic as a lot of the people he plays against.
Holmes had a shot blocked by Jackie Carmichael. Carmichael with his 26th block of the season takes us to a break. Evansville an early 1-point lead over Illinois State. More coming from Redbird Arena. This is ISU basketball live on Comcast. 23 points for Denver Holmes on Wednesday of last week against ISU, but the Redbirds have identified him tonight, and that's Jackie Carmichael just swatting it away from Holmes.
The young man has an uncanny knack of being able to go up, time his jump to get a block, and avoid the foul. That's the thing that amazes me at his age. Usually it takes a couple of years of seasoning in college ball to be able to time it so that you don't draw the foul, but he does it great. Redbirds are glad he's wearing white tonight.
He's on the bench right now. Austin Hill is in the game for the first time. Short shot is missed. Evansville had a nice look that time. Ryan couldn't get it to go, though. Back comes Hill. Here's Odiakosa on the low block with Hope on him. Phillips thought about it, stepped inside. Now it's Rubin. Redbirds showing some patience here offensively.
Well, the Aces are daring the Birds to shoot the ball from outside. They're sagging off out of their man, and right there Austin Hill burns them with the three. Good kick out by Dima.
Hill just a 20% three-point shooter. That's just his fourth three-point make of the year, so you would imagine the scouting report said sag off him, but he made the Aces pay there.
A little inside-outside action that time, working the ball in and then kicking it back out as they sagged off.
Here's Holmes off the screen. Couldn't get it to go. He's still scoreless.
Good job by the Birds defensively to be one and done. They're there to clean up the boards and get no second attempts for the Aces.
Phillips gives it up now to Rubin in the corner. Now he's going to go Odiakosa. Backs in on Hope. Had the ball stripped out of his hands. Good defense that time by Troy Taylor back in the front court. He's going to shoot over Phillips. Can't get it to go.
That's what the sagging defense will do. It'll force you to take outside shots, but when you do kick it inside, there's an instant help.
Jackie Carmichael comes back to the scores table. He'll check in on the next whistle. 9-8 Illinois State with a 1-point lead. We've played about 7 minutes here at Redbird Arena. Well, we got a whistle away from the basketball. It's going to be on the Birds. No, it's going to be on Evansville. Okay.
Trying to set a screen down low. Got their elbows extended. I believe that was Devon Lacey that got called for it.
Carmichael comes back in the game. We're seeing Justin Clark for the first time. He'll come in and give Alex Rubin a breather. So it's Eldridge, Phillips, Clark, Carmichael, and Hill on the floor right now for Illinois State.
Clark came into this program as a freshman here this year as one of the most heralded shooters and scorers in the history of Missouri high school basketball, and he just has struggled to get on track this year. When he does, look out. He can light things up.
Yeah, he scored over 2,000 points. That's a lot of baskets.
Yeah, it is.
In high school. Here's Ryan down the lane, scooped it up and rolled it in. So Colt Ryan, who made just 3 shots last week against the Redbirds, now has 4 makes already in double figures now with 10 for the Aces. Carmichael forces a tough shot. Got his own rebound. Put it back up, offensive foul though.
Oh my. That's not a favorite with this crowd, home crowd here tonight, because Jackie Carmichael is one of the home crowd favorites, and anything that goes against him, as we see in the replay right here, if it goes against Jackie Carmichael, the crowd's not going to like it. He is a likable young man, though, on and off the court.
And now Austin Hill bodies up on Taylor, and he's whistled for the foul. It's the second against Tim Jankovich's team. Coach Jankovic in his 3rd season, 61 wins, 24 losses. Looking for 8 in a row. Illinois State is over Evansville. They've won the last 7 meetings between these two schools. And now we've got a whistle away from the ball, and it's against Evansville.
Right there's one of the things that has impressed me about Justin Clark. He was defending in that scenario that took the charge, or excuse me, took the foul right there, and he drew the foul. His shooting is off, but yet he is still progressing as a complete player. by the way he works hard on defense and rebounds.
Here's Hill from the foul line. He's fouled, and he's going to get to the free throw line. Now, Austin Hill struggled with some Achilles issues early in the season, strained Achilles on his left foot, but really since the game at Utah when he had a chance to come back, he has showed that he can be a very aggressive player, and obviously the coaching staff wants him to take the ball to the basket and create things, and he is showing that he can do that.
Well, that's exactly right, Kurt. They want him to penetrate off the dribble because he's not necessarily a fast sprinter, but he's a quick off the dribble. He's real quick off the dribble with his first step. And if he can get an advantage of that nature with his strength, then he can get to the middle of that lane and draw a foul or make a play, whether it be the shot or the dump down pass or the kick out pass. But he can do that, but he's got to get penetration in order to create it.
Hope down low.
One of the things that we're seeing here is the Evansville Aces take the lead back 12-11. At Evansville, ISU got off to a start defensively that might have been their best performance of the year in the first half defensively. Tonight, they're playing okay, adequate defense. It's definitely not their best of the year.
Loose ball's on the floor, and it's Evansville that comes away with it. Taylor in the backcourt. Here's Ryan.
You better pay attention to him because he can make things happen.
Holt left alone and knocks down the baseline jumper.
Right there, Colt Ryan makes a penetrating dribble baseline and draws Jackie Carmichael, and that leaves Hope wide open for the little short jump shot.
And so the Aces cash in off the Illinois State turnover. They have their largest lead of the game at 3 points. We've played 9 minutes here at Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, our Comcast Sports crew with you. Missouri Valley Conference basketball from Normal. There's Lloyd Phillips with a little runner off the glass.
Nice soft touch. Phillips found a crease in that defense. Nobody helped, and he was able to get the soft kiss off the right side.
First points of the night for Phillips, who missed his first 3 shots. Carmichael jumped out to defend Ryan. Now left Hope open, couldn't complete the shot, knocked around the rebound, but couldn't get anything in his hands, and now back from the Redbirds. So lob down low to Carmichael. Redbirds work the ball around to Hill, who penetrates and tried to snap the pass down. It's picked off by Ryan. Intended for Carmichael. Hudson left open. He missed the shot. Hill had it knocked out of his hands again by Ryan, who puts it up off the glass and in. Colt Ryan is having an aggressive first half.
He's a one-man wrecking crew right now.
12 points. He averages just under 15 a game at 14.9. He's having a whale of an opening half.
There's only been 2 aces that have scored.
There's Lloyd Phillips left open for 3. And we're even at 16.
Good penetrating dribble that time by Austin Hill, and the kick out to the open Lloyd Phillips.
Well, last week, going into the game, I think the Redbirds' scouting report was, let's stop Colt Ryan. Perhaps tonight they were trying to stop Denver Holmes, and it's Ryan that's doing all the damage.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
He shoots over Osiris Eldridge. He is in a zone right now. He's 6 out of 8 from the field. He has 14 of his team's 18 points.
When Colt Ryan was in high school, they gave him the nickname of the Little Larry Bird. They said he could shoot like him and draw fans from all over the county when he was playing high school ball.
Justin Clark's 3, front of the rim and rolls off. Well, he played at Batesville, Indiana, and broke the scoring records set by Michael Menzer, who was an all-conference star at Indiana State a couple of years ago. Led the Sycamores to a couple of NCAA tournaments. And now he is the guy that's waving the flag of Batesville High. Here's Hope backing in on Carmichael and scoring off the glass. Hope has 6 points and Ryan has 14. So those 2 players, as you mentioned, only 2 players right now doing the scoring for the Aces, and yet it's 20-16 in favor of Evansville. Austin Hill from the corner. That's it. That's a 2.
Good skip pass that time over top of the defense by Lloyd Phillips to find Austin Hill. Defense, again, they're sagging off a bit and kind of daring the Redbirds to shoot from outside. I don't know that that's necessarily a good philosophy to continue all night.
Taylor spins and scores.
Very tough shot right there.
Nice move for Taylor. He's the junior from Anderson, Indiana. Here's Hill. Down the lane, had contact before the shot.
That I guess I'll call it the football style. Drive and dribble.
Timeout on the Missouri Valley Conference, and the Redbirds are finding that out firsthand here tonight, Bob. He is 6 of 8 from the field in a real shooting rhythm.
Well, he leads all freshmen in scoring, but he's 4th overall in the league at 14-9 a game. He's really, I tell you, he's a star in making, I think, as a perimeter player in the Missouri Valley. And we talked about how the adversities they've had to overcome with injuries and illnesses this year at Evansville. If they can, go through their lumps this year and add some skill to them next year, this is a team that in the future, I think, with the foundation that they're building there, is a team to watch for.
Steele in the backcourt now, and Evansville comes back at it. The Redbirds have turned the ball over 6 times in this opening half.
We're seeing the Birds go to a different defense. They're primarily a man-to-man team. Right now they're going 2-3 zone. Following that timeout is a time that you like to throw changes at a team because they're not ready for it. We'll see if the Birds stay in it or if they go long distance.
Holmes left open. That's his first basket of the night. It was a 2.
Now, one of the previous shots that Holmes had taken had been an air ball. Didn't deter him from the next time he had a good open look to crank it up.
Well, don't they always say that about good shooters, is that they're going to keep shooting until they get it right. Here's Odiakosa. He's been quiet tonight, but a nice assist that time as he slipped the ball down to Hill, who's fouled.
Caught the Aces just a little slow on their rotation defensively right there as they doubled down on Odiakosa.
Timeout on the floor. Redbirds Lake Conference, but really not looking like a winless team thus far tonight here, Bob. 6 points down to the Redbirds, but they have played with a lot more energy than they did in the opening half last week at home against these same Redbirds.
Well, there's no question about that. The energy level is almost a role reversal from a week ago. Last week it was the Redbirds that had all the energy in the first half, and the Aces appeared flat. Tonight it's just the opposite of that, and you're seeing the results of it on the court right now.
Austin Hill fouled before the last whistle, so he's at the free throw line now. He has given the Redbirds some nice minutes here in this opening half off the bench. Sorry, Tony Lewis. Lewis in the game. The Redbirds, Jackie Carmichael has been in and out of the lineup. He was the one who really tore it up in that first half. He had 16 first half points at Evansville on Wednesday night and really sparked that Redbird victory. But it hasn't been so easy for him tonight.
Well, if you recall, there was a couple of breakaway dunks that he got out of that energy that they brought to the game.
Here's Van Tongeren, rejected by Dima Odiakosa.
And look who's leading the charge down to Florence, Dima Odiakosa.
Now it's Hill left open. He knocks it down. There's the Redbirds getting some offense off their defense.
Exactly. That's what they did a week ago. That energy that we talked about was what the Birds brought to the defensive end of the court that created offense last week. We just saw it in that Pratt sequence.
We'll see if that play sparks the Redbird offense. Sometimes that's what it takes, a play on defense, a steal, a block shot. This is Monet Hudson. And we've got a whistle. It's going to go against the Birds, away from the basketball. Fouls on Alex Rubin.
I believe it was Austin Hill.
You're right, okay. I saw the 3 they flashed up there. I thought it was Rubin, but you're right. It was Hill.
He was trying to fight through a screen, which Evansville probably sets more screens away from the ball than anybody else in the conference. They're what you'd call an old-fashioned motion team that sets all their screens away from the ball. The modern-day motion that you see dribble drive penetration off of is an on-the-ball screens.
There's Ryan. He's fouled as Eldridge tried to fight through the screen.
Well, and as a result, he made body contact on a three-point attempt, giving Colt Ryan 3 free throws. Here's the handoff with what they call the butt screen after the handoff, and Osiris tried to fight over top of it.
Well, Ryan, as we mentioned, is on pace to break the Evansville freshman scoring record. He started the night about 140 points shy. He's on pace to break the record tonight. Jason Holsinger from 2006 holds that record.
Who is a tremendous scorer.
Yes. In fact, Ryan is trying to become the first Evansville freshman to lead his team in scoring in 14 years. The last freshman to do that for the Aces was Marcus Wilson. Did that back in 1996.
Another excellent player from the past for the Aces right there.
Well, Ryan was just 3 of 15 from the field on Wednesday night of last week. The Redbirds really made it difficult for him, and he just had a cold night shooting, and he's stored up all his shooting for tonight. He's got 17 first-half points here. He's right at his scoring average.
Well, you better believe the Evansville coaching staff had been showing him tape of that previous game and how poorly he shot it in an attempt to get him jacked up for tonight's contest, and I'd say it worked.
Here's Odiakosa, backs in and rolls that shot home. He just worked his way so close to the basket he had about a 4-foot shot.
Well, on that time there was no drop down to help double team on him and or give him any assistance. And if you don't double down, if the Evansville Aces don't double down, Dima can go burn you like that all night.
Under 5 minutes to go here in this opening half. We'll have a conversation with Illinois State swimming and diving coach Steve Pasca at halftime. And a bumping foul that time on Lewis, as again the Redbirds are fighting through screens set for Ryan.
Record foul 34, Tony Lewis. That's his first. Redbirds have 5 team fouls.
It's a 15 foul against Illinois State. Justin Clark is going to check in. He'll come in place of Alex Rubin. So the Redbirds have Clark, Phillips, Odiakosa. No, he's going to come in for who?
Tony Lewis.
Lewis, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's Cyrus Eldridge.
So Phillips, Lewis, Hill, Odiakosa, Rubin, and Clark on the field, on the floor right now for the Redbirds. We'll get it right.
Much contact as they're out here. It appears to be the field.
Yeah. And Tongren's jump hook wouldn't go down. Here's Clark. He gets a screen that time from Lewis. A little screen and roll, but it's going to be Lloyd Phillips from the other side of the floor. Knocks down a big three for Illinois State.
Right there's what I was talking about on the modern day motion. It's a ball screen up high, and if you sag to help from the wing, you kick like that to Lloyd Phillips, and he's wide open.
Ryan cutting. Alex Rubin, good D that time for Illinois State. Odiakosa the save.
Great hustle. Dima showing a lot of hustle this first half tonight.
Well, he was strapped with foul trouble in the first meeting between these two teams. Couldn't do much. Lewis.
Not his thing. You could tell when he shot the ball, he was thinking, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Never want to shoot it in that scenario. A little bit outside his comfort zone. Redbirds have fought back, tied the ball game up here, and that's what you have to be able to do, is get a little defensive spark, get some shutdowns, and then turn them over into offense.
Ryan can't make the open shot that time. Lewis just, as he was falling out of bounds, threw it right off of Cole Ryan and out of bounds. And that gets a round of applause from the Redbird faithful. Timeout on the floor, 3:05 to go opening half. We're all even. Illinois State 27, Evansville 27 here on Comcast. Basketball meets dodgeball here on this sequence. It's Lewis falling out of bounds and just out of desperation throwing the ball off of Colt Ryan and out of bounds. Smart play, and Anthony Bean knows it. That's the assistant Redbird coach there getting on his feet to applaud the defensive effort there from Tony Lewis.
One thing the Redbirds have done to get them a spark, to get back into this ball game and tie it up, is played harder on defense. They've got a lot more energy, and that's led to some higher percentage shots on the offensive end because they've gotten out, ran the floor, got a little transition. Redbirds have moved the ball rather well. They've got 7 assists for their 10 field goals, and that's a pretty good percentage right there.
And the Redbirds can shoot for the lead, which they haven't had in a while.
See, Evansville looks like they're in, oh man, that was a weak pass.
Taylor knocked it out of bounds, but he couldn't go and get it. He almost had a steal and a layup, but it was just too far ahead of him.
Evansville pulled a little bit of the Redbird attack on him that time. After that timeout, they came out in a 2-3 zone. And it appears as if they're going to stay in it right now, this sequence.
Kellen Thornton's in the game now for Illinois State. Here's Rubin off the pump fake. He's fouled. We've got some free throws coming.
Evansville fouls on 34, Denver Holmes, his third.
That's the third foul on Denver Holmes here in this opening half.
Shooting foul for the Red
Well,
Birds.
I think that's a crucial observation right there, Kurt, because not only is it a small lineup that they have to go with in size, it's a small, the aces I'm referring to, it's a small number that they have to go with. And when one of their better shooters gets a third foul early in the game, then it's really going to hurt what they're trying to do.
You're seeing Kevon Lacey come back into the game. Marty Simmons playing shorthanded tonight. Ned Cox, who's typically a starter, a freshman from San Antonio, poked in the eye in practice this past week, is not playing. And Brian Bushy, who had pneumonia last month and the flu last week, has left the team. So his roster is dwindling. There's Hudson down the lane. He got the ball in a nice spot off a roll and laid it in.
They do a great job of coming off screens, curling them, looking to take the ball on an attack mode to the basket.
Monet Hudson, M-O-N-I-E.
Oh, great pass.
There's Odiakosa to finish off the feed from Justin Clark.
Once again, you got a shooter taking the ball baseline and then attracting two defenders, and that left Odiakosa wide open and flushed her down.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the opening half. Here's Lacey. Changed his shot. Wouldn't go. Good D by the Redbirds. Here comes Phillips back in the front court. Redbirds with the basketball and a 2-point advantage. Phillips finds Thornton. His three from the corner. Missed it. McKellen had a couple of three-point makes in the first game between these two teams last week in Evansville. One from each corner.
He's playing with so much confidence this year, Thornton is, whether it be on the offense or the defensive end. He's got a lot to learn defensive yet, but his offensive instincts are coming more natural. He's more comfortable out there. See, the Ace is slowing the game down here for a variety of reasons.
Good defense by Odiakosa. Hope just kind of ran out of space there. That happens when you're being guarded by Odiakosa.
Yeah, you hit the brick wall when you run into him.
Clark on the baseline. Good first step.
Oh, yeah.
Explosive step and laid it in.
When your outside shot is struggling, as Justin Clark's has throughout the first part of this season, you start doing things like that, looking for avenues to get dribble drives to the bucket and laid in that way.
Well, you mentioned we got a timeout. Marty Simmons wants to call timeout here with 38 seconds to go. You mentioned that he came in as a highly touted three-point shooter. He's really struggled from the field, especially from the three-point line. So if you can start getting layups and other shots, perhaps that'll kickstart the other part of your game.
That's right. It's a mental thing. You start feeling good about yourself. You're contributing. And as a shooter, that's what you always feel like you're not doing, contributing, if you're not making your shot. So when you start taking it to the basket and either making the lay-in, getting fouled, as we'll see on the replay here he comes baseline, left hand, long arms, lays it across the rim. Very good take that time by Justin.
Clark has a really long wingspan. His arms are long. He's 6'4", 165, long and lean, and certainly is looking forward to maybe working in the summer and getting stronger, because his game, he's just scratching the surface right now, and if he can just get that shot going in the right direction and get that confidence up there, he'll be a different ball player.
Well, I think next year his physique, there'll be a lot of teams scratching their heads wondering who that young man is, because I think you're right, Kurt. He's going to put 15 pounds on easily in this offseason. He'll get buried in that weight room during the offseason, and he'll look like a whole different person when he comes back next year.
Final half minute of this opening half. Here's Lacey. Good move.
Good call after the timeout right there to isolate Lacey down low.
And the Redbirds will shoot for the final shot of this opening half. Much different story tonight between these two teams. Last week it was all ISU. The Redbirds have a 2-point lead on the ball in the final 10 seconds of the opening half. Here's Eldridge with Taylor on him. 4 on the shot clock. Lost the dribble. Kind of forced the shot up, wouldn't get it. Redbirds didn't get a very good look in their final possession of the half. But they have a 2-point lead at halftime, 33-31.
Well, I give the Birds credit that they had kind of a sluggish start the first 10 minutes, but they fought themselves back into the game, took the lead, and they're going in at halftime with a 2-point bulge. May not
Even the Redbirds in scoring. Ball is on the floor. Odie Acosta comes away with it. Now it's Hill.
Great hustle by a pair of Birds.
Alex Rubin for three. That's in. Good sequence for Illinois State.
I'll go back to the hustle on defense. Osiris flies out of bounds. Odie Acosta goes on the floor. It results in a big-time three that brings this crowd to its feet.
So the Redbirds open up with consecutive baskets and now open their lead to 7. Here's Ryan. He bumped in, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Good defense there by Rubin.
I don't think there's any question on that. That was a good defensive play. Alex Rubin, that's what he's about. He's the floor burn kid out there.
Well, you got to tip your hat to Alex Rubin. He knows his niche. He has perfected that three-point shot right in the front of the Redbird bench in the corner. And as you mentioned, he has a lot of deflections. He takes charges. He does all those little things.
That's exactly right. When you talk about perfecting the three-point shot, Alex knows his limitations. He's best as a shooter when he is set. He's not a great shooter yet at this stage of his career off the dribble.
Now the Aces trying to score in transition off the turnover by Osiris Eldridge, and now we've got a foul against the Redbirds. And that's going to go against Odie Acosta.
42, Dima Odie Acosta, that's his first. It is the first team foul on the half from the Redbirds. Out of bounds to Evansville.
Here's a look at that foul and the contact afterwards.
It was on this, on the rebound.
Now Holmes down the lane had a shot change. That time it was blocked. It's Hope getting it back and flipping it up and in with the left hand.
Good effort by Hope right there to staying with it, splitting the two rebounders, two Redbird rebounders, and getting his second chance.
It's 6 points now for Clint Hope.
Again, a clear out down low. Dima going to work.
And again, drawing contact on the foul on Hope.
Is that 3 or 4? Nope, my fault. Wrong guy. It's only his, I believe he's second.
Second foul on Hope. Boy, Odie Acosta has really got that move down, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, and they're doing a great job of running a play where he's isolated down there and they can't drop down or bring any help side over. And when he gets it in that situation, Demon knows what to do with it at this point. Earlier in his career, I wouldn't say he did always know what to do with it. He does now.
Had a nice conversation with Ben Wiersba from Farmington, who's an assistant coach on the Evansville staff last week when we were at Roberts Stadium, and he said when he watches tape, he cannot believe the improvement in Odie Acosta. He said the entire Evansville coaching staff just says, look at his footwork. Look at how much he's improved.
Well, the one thing he does so wonderfully at 6'8", 240, you never see him get his feet crossed up. He moves so quickly that his feet are always where they belong. He's never off balance.
Here's a look on that foul, and on the inbounds pass, it goes out of bounds, a turnover, the 7th of the game for the Aces.
Those type of unforced errors right there are the kind of things that the Redbird defense needs to kind of create more of. They need to put more pressure like that in their half-court defense and make the Aces have to play them tough.
Austin Hill works his way to an open spot on the floor, can't get the shot to go. Offensive rebound, Odie Acosta. Now it's going to be Phillips. He missed the 3. Extra pass made that time by Rubin. Now Lacey behind the screen, works on Hill, pushes off, but there's going to be a blocking foul on Austin Hill.
Goodness.
Record foul at 13, Austin Hill, his third.
Austin Hill worked hard to get position there by moving his feet.
Out of bounds.
Lacey got their arm stuck out there, buried his shoulder. It looked like he pushed him, but you don't get every call. It just, you got to play through it and get tough.
Third foul out on Austin Hill, and the Aces got the ball in before the Redbirds could make a change. Hudson in this, Odie Acosta gets it down. Justin Clark is at the scoring table. He'll likely come in for Hill. Here's Eldridge, draws a double team, worked his way down, flipped it up, couldn't get it to go.
Lost his footing, didn't have the balance or strength. Forced that shot under that circumstance.
Tough night shooting for Osiris. He's 1 out of 7 from the field. Aces trying to carve into a 6-point Illinois State lead. Here's Holmes. He's being guarded nicely by Eldridge, but goes right around him on pump fake.
That's by 34, Denver Hall.
You know, sometimes we fall in love with just looking at the stat line that Osiris Eldridge has offensively, but more often than not, he's guarding the top, perimeter player on the opposition, and he's doing a nice job on Holmes. Holmes got free that time. Here's Phillips down the lane, little floater off the glass and in.
Phillips did one of those on the opposite side in the first half. Nice little floater, nice soft touch, gives it a chance to go in and does. That made possible by a big-time screen from Dima.
Here's Hudson. He curled right off that screen, just like you said, textbook Evansville basketball.
They just constant movement, constant use of screens.
4 points for Monet Hudson, the junior from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Hill couldn't get the reverse to go, but Dima Odiokosa's offensive rebound is in.
Hill couldn't get the basket to go, but he attracted Dima Odiokosa's defender, which left Dima wide open for the rebound and the putback.
Good second half so far for Odiokosa. Colt Ryan, the miss. Rebound by guess who? Odiokosa. Now Phillips puts the pedal to the metal. He couldn't finish.
Holy smokes, he got hit hard. That wasn't a little bump.
Holmes all the way down on Hill, flipped it in.
Well, now we're seeing something rather uncharacteristic of both teams. They're getting up and down the floor at a fast pace.
Looks like both teams are in need of a little breather here, too. They can't wait for the immediate timeout.
Yeah, there's some subs both ways setting over at the scorer's table.
And now we've got a whistle, now we've got our timeout.
Nope. Osiris stepped out of bounds. Yes, you're right. We do have timeout, but it was a turnover. Redbirds. Ball goes back to the Aces when we return.
4 points. Dima Odiokosa with 5 points in the first 5 minutes here this second half. He's much more aggressive, it looks like, here in the second half.
Well, he definitely was. As you see him get the putback right there, he's in the right place. When his man left to help on the penetrating dribble of Austin Hill, he was right where he needed to be. Didn't stand around and watch. He rolled right into the bucket so he could get rebound position. Got the easy stick back.
And he's getting a breather now on the Redbird bench, as is Osiris Eldridge. Jackie Carmichael's in, along with Kellen Thornton. So it's Lloyd Phillips, Alex Rubin, Justin Clark, Jackie Carmichael, and Kellen Thornton, the 5 on the floor for the Redbirds. Monet Hudson, Colt Ryan, Denver Holmes, Peter Van Tongeren now in the game for the first time, and Kevon Lacey on the floor for Evansville.
Coming out after the timeout, we see the Redbirds going to a 2-3 zone once again. I think it threw the Aces threw them for a loop there for the first 10 seconds of the shot clock, and now they've recovered and they're going to... Oh, there's a deflection by Alex Rubin.
And now he's going to take it down on Ryan. He lost the dribble looking for help. Carmichael trails the play. Now it's Clark. Thought about the three, now going to penetrate and kick out. Rubin. Good defense by Holmes. He recovered quickly. Redbirds wisely reset the offense.
Good hustle again on defense. The change in defenses from man to zone created a unique look.
Phillips in the paint, and it's going to be a tip dunk, and they're going to wave it off. It was Thornton trying to follow up. Thornton and Carmichael both went up, but that ball is in the cylinder.
Yeah, no question. It was. It took 2 or 3 bounces, and when you're this high in the air, as you see right here, it's really hard to say no when you're up there.
Yep, Thornton and Carmichael. Carmichael got his hands on it first, and so they'll take that basket away. And now a backdoor cut by Kevon Lacey. Well, that's a 4-point swing. Take 2 points away from your team and add 2 points to the Evansville squad. It's now a 2-point game.
Birds got to regroup.
Lob down to Carmichael. Couldn't finish. Got it back. Offensive rebound and a 3-point opportunity.
Oh my. He just willed that ball into the basket. I think they were doing chin-ups on his right forearm, and he put it in the hole. Good pass by Phillips, leads Carmichael right to the rim. He short arms the first one, gets mugged on the second one, and still finds a way to get it in the hole and go to the line.
Carmichael has averaged about 11 points per game since the Missouri Valley Conference season has started, but he's not quite having the afternoon or the evening that he had last week in Evansville here tonight.
That would be hard to duplicate.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
He did 4 points here tonight after a 20-point effort last week and a three-pointer that goes in by Ryan again. He's got a 20-point night. 20 points for the freshman Colt Ryan. It's a 1-point basketball game. Thornton, pull-up jumper. That's good.
Good looking shot. Like we said in the first half, he's playing with so much more confidence, particularly on the offensive end. He feels like he fits in this year.
First 2 points of the night for Kellen Thornton. Again off the screen, it's Colt Ryan. Catch and shoot, can't get it. Tipped by Van Tongeren, wouldn't go.
Good help on defense that time on Colt Ryan by Jackie Carmichael.
They sag off Clark. He'll try the three and miss it.
A little flat on the shot. He needs to get a little more arc on that, get that elbow under and get the ball up. It'll happen.
We're under 12 minutes to go in this one. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, our Comcast Sports crew here in Normal, where the Redbirds lead the Aces 47-44 in Missouri Valley Conference play. Van Tongeren left open, swatted out of there by Thornton, but it's going to be goaltending.
And it's goaltending, credit the basket to number 41, Peter Van Tongeren.
46 lead over Evansville here in Normal. 18 years ago tonight, January 13th, 1992. I know exactly where you were at, Bob Morris. You were sitting right over about where Tim Jankovic is right now on that ISU coaching bench. And Bob Bender, the head coach of the Redbirds, fainted while coaching Illinois State in a 54-51 win over Drake. You remember that night well, don't you?
Oh, yes. It was one of the most bizarre evenings on the bench I've ever had. Coach Bender, while he spent a lot of time watching the game in a squatted position. He exploded up after the reaction to a play on the court, went straight up in the air, and had a head rush is the best way to describe it, and went down. He had been having bad sinus problems that whole week and ended up spending the night in the hospital. Everything cleared out okay, but it was unusual to see your head coach go off on a stretcher.
And all you coaches, you assistant coaches, Ray Giacoletti and Jay Lowenthal and Bob Morris, you guys took credit for the victory, didn't you?
Yeah, we took it.
Jackie Carmichael got the shot off before the shot clock. Offensive rebound. Now Lloyd Phillips with a three.
Again, what a great contribution Justin Clark is making tonight. He got the offensive rebound right there, kicked it out to a wide open Lloyd Phillips, who knocked it down, but that doesn't happen unless Justin Clark crashes the board.
Third three-point make of the night now for Phillips. Give him 13 points. He's the lone Redbird in double figures. Illinois State's lead is 4.
Redbirds back in the 2-3 zone.
Taylor had his shot altered that time by an aggressive Kellen Thornton. Now Clark gives it up in the corner, pump fake. It's Thornton. He's bodied up and fouled that time by Ryan.
And very gentlemanly like, walks over and helps Thornton up.
Evansville foul number 11, Colt Ryan. He has 2 fouls. The team has
Here we'll see the
5.
shot fake, gets the defender up in the air, grabs a hold, takes him down.
Second foul now on Ryan. Boy, what a game he's had. 20 points on 7 of 13 shooting for the Aces. Now Carmichael. We approach the 10-minute mark left in this one. Phillips. Clark to the corner. Tried to spin. Slipped it down to Carmichael. He couldn't finish. He tried to dunk it, but he was too far away from the basket and didn't quite have what he would normally have on that dunk.
Well, he was a little far away to try to go in for a dunk on that, and just needed to go up with these regular little jump hook right there and finish the play off. Couple of freshmen out there doing things, making something happening for the Redbirds.
Taylor down the lane, gives it up. Lacey's shot no good. Boy, Clark, we're seeing a side of Justin Clark's game that we haven't seen really all year. He's really contributing in other ways besides shooting the basketball.
Yes, it is, and it's nice to see it happen, because when you start doing that, eventually your shot's going to come back.
Van Tongeren thought he had a steal, but he stepped on the end line.
That's what happens when you have great big sized feet like that. You and I would never have had that trouble. Well, I wouldn't. You might have, but I never would have.
You see Jackie Carmichael go back to the Redbird bench, and Dima Odiakosa comes in. Here's Clark now. He gets a screen from Odiokosa. Rubin down low to Odiokosa, stripped, and again, Evansville is standing on the baseline there.
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest difference I see in the Evansville here is I kind of evaluate things again. They're much more physical than they were at Evansville a week ago. There's takedowns happening, there's bodies being pushed and shoved. And I don't mean dirty, don't get me wrong.
Phillips is fouled on the three. I really agree with you, Bob, and they're doing it without James Harzma, who's probably their most physical presence.
Well, when you lead the league in rebounding as Harzma does, then yeah, you have to have some physicality to you. And I think it was a real challenge from the Evansville staff to their players to come out and do that tonight. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're playing dirty. I'm just saying they're bringing a physical presence to the game that they didn't show at all a week ago.
Now, Lloyd Phillips is having a second solid effort against Evansville. He's doing it a different way tonight. He's doing it with scoring. Last week, he had that 9-assist game. You and I kind of had him for 10, but unofficially he had 11. Officially, he had 11 points and 9 assists. You and I both thought maybe he had 10, but we don't have the clout that the Missouri Valley Conference demands to change statistics, so we won't even bark up that tree. But Phillips is doing it scoring-wise now here tonight. He just has 3 assists, but he has 16 points, and perhaps in absence of Osiris Eldridge, he's now the scorer.
That's exactly right. He has assumed that role this evening, and he's doing it well because he's not forcing anything. He's just taking shots that you should be taking at his position.
Nice pass down low, and Kevon Lacey's going to get to the free throw line.
Kellen Thornton is a half step late, rotating over at that point in time and got up in the air. We see a pass inside, and Thornton, there he is, a half step slow, goes up, obviously makes the foul.
It's been a rough year, sorry, Bob, for Kevon Lacey. He had knee surgery in May, worked all summer long to get himself ready for the season, and then had to have his knee scoped in December. You see Osiris Eldridge on that Redbird bench again. If you've just joined us, 1 out of 7 from the floor, 2 points, and perhaps still feeling the effects from the flu bug, which seems to be going through the Redbirds right now.
Well, to Kevon Lacey and his 2 surgeries that he's had, you see right there, he knocked down his free throws when he's on the floor. His shot is not affected, but when he has to shoot an outside perimeter shot where it requires a jump shot, it's really a flat shot. He has no lift and explosion off of these knees.
Yeah, he missed 6 games while recovering from the arthroscopic surgery, and a foul on Van Tongeren now as he tried to get the block, or tried to get the charge, and he's going to be whistled for the block.
The other, we see the replay right here. Good take by Thornton and an obvious block on the baseline. You know, Kurt, I want to go back and reiterate something to our viewers tonight, that this is typical Valley basketball. I mean, you might get 1 or 2 blowouts in a year, but you're not going to do that night in, night out. And I don't care who it is you're playing. As you look up and down that schedule and you look at all the teams and you check scores out from night to night, there's a lot of 1, 2, 5-point ball games, and that's a very balanced, good conference that you're going to have to be competitive every night.
Ryan again through a seam in the Redbird defense. 22 points now for Colt Ryan.
Colt Ryan's proven that he's more than just a shooter. He can also drive. He uses his body to protect the ball and lay it in off the glass. He's a complete deal.
Here's Odiokosa. He's been effective down there on the low block, and he drew contact. The foul's going to be on Ryan on the reach-in, trying to help out Hope. We've got a timeout on the floor. The Redbirds have a 3-point lead with 7:42 to go. Back with more from Normal in a minute. This is ISU basketball on Comcast. 53 and Evansville 50. 7:42 to go here in regulation at Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, our Comcast sports crew with you. And glad you're alongside throughout the Comcast markets throughout the state of Illinois. We're being seen tonight in Rockford, Chicago, and Springfield. Marty Simmons back in his home state of Illinois, the former Lawrenceville High School basketball star. We mentioned one of the great high school players ever in the rich history of Illinois prep basketball. He led Lawrenceville to state championships in 82 and 83, 34-0 in 1982, 34-0 in 1983. First time that had ever happened, back-to-back undefeated state champions. And all he did in that championship game in 82, 21 points, 19 rebounds, and 7 assists. And you remember in the 83 title game, he played Flanagan, and Flanagan was led by a 7-footer by the name of Bill Braxick, who then went on to play here at Illinois State.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You're right. Marty Simmons was on a pair of literally legendary teams out of Lawrenceville High School.
Ron Felling coached teams.
And Jay Scheidler as his sidekick.
Doug Knopsick, the former Southern Illinois Saluki, was on the first of those two back-to-back state champions as well. So a little history for you on Marty Simmons there. There's Kevon Lacey on the outside. Boy, the Aces just will not go away here tonight.
He didn't look like he had any knee problems right there, did he, Kurt? Jumped up, knocked that one down, looking good on that shot.
55-52, a three-point Illinois State lead. Redbirds with a basketball. Osiris Eldridge is back in the game. That's him with it. Works baseline. His pass to Lloyd Phillips is out of bounds. See if it was tipped. It was not. So that's a turnover against Illinois State. So the Redbirds have Eldridge, Phillips, Hill, Odiakosa, and Rubin on the floor. Holmes, Lacey, Hope, Ryan, and Taylor are the five on the floor right now for the Purple Aces.
Big possession, I think, right here. 3-point ball game. That's it. Well defended by the Birds.
A 5-second call.
Waiting for something to happen, but it didn't happen because the Birds were defending all those off screens so well, they got a 5 count. Good job defensively by the Birds. Gained an extra possession offensively because of their defense tenacity.
We're under 7 minutes to go in this one now. Here's Rubin behind the screen now from Odiakosa. He's going to try a three. That's in. Boy, a big shot for Alex Rubin.
Once again, nice, easy dribble. The defender did not get over top very well. There wasn't much pressure, and he just, when he has a chance to get his feet set, he's a very good shooter at that point.
11 points for Rubin, coming off a career-high 13 against Northern Iowa, and another block by the Redbird defense. It's Odiakosa. Now Phillips in trouble, gives it up to Hill. Right down the lane. Scooped it up, and there's going to be a blocking foul against the Aces.
Good recognition out front that time, not only by Lloyd Phillips because he got trapped as he came across the midcourt, but Austin Hill stayed high, so Phillips had a release pass to get out of the trap, and then he attacked the basket immediately, knowing they were one shy on defense.
Number 13, Austin Hill at the line for the Redbirds.
First free throw was good for Hill. He is the transfer from Southeastern Illinois Community College. Covington, Kentucky is his hometown. Now we're seeing Kevon Lacey leave the game, and Monet Hudson comes in for the Aces. Hill trying to get into double figures with a made foul shot here. He's averaging just 6.5 points per game, so he's well over his average, really contributing tonight for the Redbirds.
Well, the Birds have done a good job of getting their bench into the game tonight. They've had a lot of contributions from a wide variety of people. They've had 9 different Redbirds score. 6 different Redbirds have made assists.
Holmes working baseline and laying it in.
Good take. Good take right there. Smart basketball player.
Baskets have been hard to come by for Holmes, but he has 8 points now. Under 6 minutes left in this one. Hand check is going to be whistled against Troy Taylor. Back to the free throw line goes Lloyd Phillips. And the Redbirds are now in the double bonus.
Double bonus, but they themselves, the Redbirds, have only committed 4 fouls this half, which keeps the Aces off the foul line on all common fouls.
Now Lloyd has stepped up his scoring here. When he first came, obviously, to the Redbirds, and he was more of a distributor. You had Champaguchi on one side and Osiris Eldridge on the other. As the point guard, you better find those guys. But there's been several nights this year during the Missouri Valley Conference where he's just taken the scoring load on his shoulders. Tonight's one of those nights.
Well, yeah, and again, this year he's a little more comfortable recognizing when those nights are.
Here's Holmes off the screen. No good. Hill the rebound. Nicely done. Before he hit the floor, he flipped it over to Phillips to avoid the travel violation. Now it's Osiris. He snaps a pass inside the lane, but it was knocked out of Dima's hands. Ball is on the floor. There might be a travel. The Redbirds are going to get it back, it looks like.
He laid on the end line, on the sideline, excuse me. Taylor did it. When he went for the loose ball, great effort on his part, but he rolled over onto the end line, which is out of bounds.
5 minutes to go in this one. 62-54. Redbirds have ballooned the lead to 8 here. Now it's Odiakosa. Spin move again. Can't get it to go. It's Hope coming down with a defensive rebound.
Short-armed the shot. Didn't follow through. Get that little flip of the wrist. Didn't happen. A little short-armed on that. Good move, though.
Evansville wants timeout. And so we'll step aside for another solid effort tonight for Alex Rubin, the junior from Plymouth, Minnesota. 3 out of 3 from three-point land.
You see the defender cheated, kind of took the lazy route, went behind the screen rather than fight over, which I know Marty Simmons is not thrilled about. And as he did, that gave Alex Rubin the time he needed to get squared up and shot the 3 and knocked her down.
In his last 9 games, he's shooting from beyond the arc at better than 46%. That's going to keep you on the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to do, is keep you on the floor. And every time the defense cheats and goes under a screen, you're going to let her fly.
Lloyd Phillips is whistled for that foul as he was trying to fight through the screen. For a lot of physical play here tonight.
Well, and I'll give the officials credit. I think they've done a good job of keeping the game in control, not letting either team be, excessively rough and gaining an advantage over the other team, and yet not blowing the whistle too much.
I agree with you. Ryan being guarded by Eldridge. Working baseline, looking for help, flipped it up. It's going to be a steal. Redbirds have numbers. 3-on-1. It's Phillips. All the way down, missed the shot. Rubin follows.
That time, Colt Ryan was a freshman. He penetrated baseline and had absolutely nothing. He left his feet and just threw the ball up for grabs, and it was a breakaway for the Birds. That's a big basket. To go to that 10-point double-digit spread with just approximately 4 minutes left in the game, that's a mental edge more than anything, but it means something as you look up there as a player.
Holmes spins on Rubin and drew the foul on Odiakosa. When you think about in the guts of the game, it's a freshman or a sophomore taking the shot for Evansville. That just goes to show you how young this team is and how perhaps bright the future is for Marty Simmons' team. Timeout on the floor, 3:53 to go, 10-point Redbird lead. Back with more from Normal in a minute. This is ISU basketball live on Comcast. Redbirds get a steal, and on the other end, they get some points. Lloyd Phillips doesn't finish. Alex Rubin does.
Well, Kurt, if you look down, I'm going to give Lloyd some credit here. He took a peek over his left shoulder as he was penetrating on that. He saw he had Alex Rubin coming, but he also saw he had a defender close on his shoulder. He laid that ball high up off the glass, knowing Alex was going to be there to finish. That comes from playing together. That's not an accident.
Well, the Redbird lead is 10 at 64-54 with Denver Holmes going to the free throw line to complete my thought before the break. Holmes is the sophomore. Ryan is the freshman. These are the guys on the floor that are getting their name and number called to take these clutch shots. It's not a senior. It's not a junior.
That's because they don't exist. They only have one senior, as we pointed out earlier. I'll go back to what I said in the first half. The future's bright at Evansville when they've got 2 skilled players that can put the ball in the hole as often as those 2 can for them.
And Holmes now in double figures with 10 points. Right at his scoring average. The Redbird lead is 8. We're under 4 minutes to go. 64-56. There's Phillips now. He's guarded by a freshman in Taylor. This is Odiakosa with a nice spin, but he got too far into the basket. Nice rebound, though, by Eldridge to preserve the offensive set. Now it's going to be Phillips for 3.
Good hustle by Cyrus Eldridge, who's obviously not himself tonight. We believe more than likely as the flu bug is going through the Redbirds that he's feeling the effects of some of that. But there again he is, causing a deflection on defense.
Rubin comes away with it. Now Austin Hill left open. Now it's Rubin. The Redbirds were wise to bring the ball back out.
Run a little time, run a little clock. You got control of the game if you do.
And it's under 3 minutes left in this one. Give and go. Osiris and Odiakosa, offensive foul on Dima.
That might have been the softest charge I've ever seen by a man that size. Here we see the feed from Osiris. I'll let the viewers form their own opinion on that call.
Now a big possession for the Aces.
Yes, it is. What was a 10-point, now down to 8, could be 6.
And again, Rubin with good D. The Redbirds come away with a steal. Austin Hill, one-on-one on Lacey. Flipped it up, and it's going to be a couple of free throws for him.
Once again, you're seeing defense create offense. And when the Birds have played well tonight, that is what has happened more times than not. We see Hill coming down the middle. Boom, crossover. Got the foul, almost the basket. You know, Kurt, winning ball games is something the Redbird fans, since Tim Jankovich has been here, are getting accustomed to. Illinois State, under the direction of Tim Jankovich and his staff, is number 1 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and since Tim has been here, with 61 victories. They lead the entire Missouri Valley league with league victories in 27, and the Missouri Valley Conference tournament with tournament victories in 4 during that time. That's not a bad resume in a short period of time.
And Austin Hill, off the bench, has given the Redbirds 12 points today. He's played very well. Ryan the miss, ball is out of bounds. It's going to be Evansville. The Redbirds trying to make every offensive possession a difficult one for the Aces. Catch and shoot, Holmes. Missed it, long rebound, Lacey.
Oh, great.
He and Hill fighting for it with Rubin. That might be off Alex Rubin, but I tell you what, you got to tip your hat to the Redbirds who really, I mean, we're talking out at the timeline of chasing that loose ball.
I mean, that's great. And listen to the crowd. You get great fan reaction when you give that kind of effort and heart. Austin Hill, Alex Rubin right here chasing it down as we see in the replay, spilling their guts for the team. And coaches love it, but so do fans respect it.
Well, they've extended it to a full timeout, so why don't we step away? 2 minutes, 3 seconds to go. Don't go with trying to close out this one in the final 2:03 with a 10-point lead.
You know, I love coming to basketball games. Could always have, obviously, been in it, coached it for 34 years and things of that nature, but I love the environment and the atmosphere of college basketball. It's just great places to be in. These fans tonight here at Redbird Arena are creating a beautiful environment.
Kevon Lacey. That won't go, and that is a devastating effort now for the Aces, who run some clock down and miss a 3, and now the Redbirds absolutely have the hammer. A 10-point lead, the basketball, and 95 seconds to play.
Well, they're going to just stand out and dribble the clock down as much as they can, and it appears as if the Aces are going to allow that because there's no pressure being put on them.
Here's Lloyd Phillips, tries to get the pass into Odiakosa. He does, and Dima finishes.
Great pass. Brought 2 defenders to the ball as he penetrated that deep. Dima knows how to seal off the guy that's coming from help side.
And Odiakosa quietly with a double-double tonight. 13 points and 10 rebounds. He does it every night.
He brings his game every game.
Yep.
He's got an A game that he brings every night. You're right, Kurt. And again, that's what coaches love to see, is somebody that comes every night because he gets contagious.
Well, it's been another rough night for Marty Simmons in his 3rd year at his alma mater. But as we have documented here tonight, he has some young pieces in this Evansville puzzle. This guy is one of them, Holmes. But he can't make the foul shot. The ball in the backcourt nearly stolen away by freshman Colt Ryan.
Well, I think we've seen a couple of wide open shots missed by Evansville here in the last 2 minutes. And we've seen missed free throw right there. I think you're seeing some tired legs on the Evansville Aces right now.
Well, Tim Jankovich called timeout because the Redbirds were awfully close to having a 10-second call, bringing the ball up the floor. Didn't want to turn it over.
That's right. That's exactly what it was. Because of the near steal, it ate up some of the time clock, and I don't think the Redbird players were aware of it.
We mentioned that Dima Odiakosa has a double-double. Here's a look at his last basket off the Lloyd Phillips feed.
He does a great job of sealing the help defender that came from the other side. That time happened to be Colt Ryan. He couldn't get on top or underneath him because of the great footwork and the wide base that Odiakosa had right there. He wanted the ball and got it.
Well, for a guy who was in all kinds of foul trouble last week when these two teams met, he's saved up his performance here tonight again with a double-double, 13 points and 11 rebounds, and the Redbirds are about 45 seconds away from improving to 13-4 on the season. Aces try and trap, and they come away with a steal. It's Holmes who steps in the passing lane. And now Osiris Eldridge returns the favor with a steal on his own.
He's going to bring it back out. Good job here. Good, smart basketball by the Redbirds. The fans are appreciative of the effort the Birds have given tonight. It wasn't one that came easy because the Aces weren't going to allow it. You've got to give the Evansville Aces a ton of credit after getting embarrassed last week at their home to come here and fight, scratch, claw, do whatever it took to make this game competitive. But the Redbirds answered the bell.
And the Redbirds are about to win their 8th consecutive game in this series with the Aces. And Austin Hill is trying to clean up here at the foul line. He now has tied his career high with 13. Cyrus Eldridge is going to leave the game, and people are going to open up the morning paper and they're going to see that Osiris scored all of 2 points on 1 of 7 from the field, but will not realize perhaps that he's fighting the flu, and he did a couple of other things here on the floor that won't necessarily show up in that box score.
You know, when you can get your star player to give you efforts like that when they're not feeling 100%, then you've got a winner. You got a winner on your hands.
Well, if you can win a game by 14 points when your star player only has 2, you're doing something right.
Exactly. Have other players that step up and help.
And that's going to be the case tonight. The Redbirds 70 and the Aces of Evansville 56. That's your final here from Redbird Arena. So Illinois State improves to 13-4 overall and 4-2 in the conference. And Evansville slips to 6-10 and 0-6 in the league. Again, it was not easy, but the Redbirds will take it.
I've said 100 different times how much respect I have for Marty and their staff. I think they do just an unbelievable job of coaching. They're a little bit short-handed right now. Can you imagine? None of us could afford what they have been afforded, and look how they still come out and play. I think it's amazing. But it was a great win for us because it was a difficult situation for us in a lot of ways, and it was kind of a chess game in some ways going on at both ends. But I was really proud of our guys. I thought we played an exceptional second half. Defensively, we finally, really grabbed a hold of it. I thought the last 10 minutes, and that was the difference.
Well, I think you're right, Coach, and we all saw the effort of the defense in that second half step up. But on the offensive end, near the end, and I believe this is how it ended up tonight, you had 9 guys in the scoring column and 8 guys with assists. Wow, that's a lot of contributions from a wide variety of people.
So you guys have the benefit of all the stats coming by. We don't know what's going on.
Smart.
We don't know what's going on over there.
Smart.
I can't even remember to look at the scoreboard, for gosh sakes. That's to see who's got how many points, But I thought we played very unselfishly. I really did, and I thought we had a pretty good offensive flow the second half. I was impressed with their game plan. We scored 82. I think the last time points came much more difficult. Colt Ryan is